what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a compilation album by Trill Entertainment. Basically this project is called Trill Entertainment Presents Survival of the Fittest, and it came out, this project is called Trill Entertainment Presents Survival of the Fittest, and it came out in the spring of 2007. So the particular hit fair about this album is just the fact that this is the follow-up type stuff to Lil Boosie's label and Webbie's label as far as this fair is going to happen, just the pitch behind it. I like the fact that this particular label actually dropped product and it managed to manifest as an album, particularly in the winter 2007. They dropped a hit single which caught on pretty well. Now I remember that single particularly catching on a lot further in like the fall of 2007, but apparently Wipe Me Down is a pretty big ringtone rap type single in like the first half of 2007, at least the original type format. So it's a good type pitch, definitely some good type fair. It was a good look, especially considering that Lil Boosie was kind of coming on the scene around late 2006 in terms of like more studio album type format in like a commercial sense. So it's a good type pitch to get that as like a follow-up. It's the same thing for Webbie, considering that he wasn't around in 2006. So it's a good type pitch to kind of get some follow-up type moments. It's basically like a stopgap for a lot of these folks as far as this fair is going to happen. And also a pretty good primer for the next cat who was up on the chopping block, which was Foxx, and then eventually 3 Deep. So I bought this album in CD type format, and the album, one of like the advertised booklets in there kind of said that there was going to be like some stuff. One of the advertised booklets in the album kind of said that there was going to be some extra kind of fare within some of those type pitches. So one in particular, there was going to be a 3 Deep album, which is basically composed of, I want to say it's actually Mouse on the track, who's the big in-house producer for Trill Entertainment, and then it was like a cat named Shell, and then it was a cat named Shell, and then Lil Fat, who I reviewed in the past with the collaboration project with Webbie. So as far as those fairs going to happen, I just would have to say, kind of look after here. So it's disappointing that the 3 Deep album never came out, but they did at least drop mixtapes, so hopefully I can get to a few of those as far as those fairs going to happen. Hopefully I can get to a few of those as far as those fairs going to happen just within the pitch behind it. I just would have to say I look after it. Now I know what one of the mixtapes is a little bit trickier to find, but I think hopefully it can still be left over around. But also Foxx has some mixtapes. I've been looking for the longest time for the Street Gossip mixtape, which was basically named after the album, kind of was like a primer to that. I want to say it came out in the spring of 2007 before the late summer of 2007. Street Gossip, the album came out, so it's just within the pitch as far as saying the Trillion T has a bunch of stuff, but nowadays it's kind of less available just because of the factoid of the fact that mixtapes are kind of trickier to find. But it's just kind of the concept as far as this fair is going to happen, just trying to find some of these type ones. But at least the albums are still around just within pitches like that. This has some good secret Lil Boosie songs on here, some good secret Webbie songs on here. Foxx has some pretty good scene stealing appearances on here, and I like the 3 Deep songs. It's like a ringtone rap centric album within the pitch. Definitely the format, just within the sound system of what Mouse, BJ, and some of these type folks particularly kind of produced, just within the aspect of it. They have some good in-house type productions, just nail virtually every production on here just within the aspect behind it. This is a pretty classic. Just to say this album's going to get a classic score just in the pitch. This primary Lil Boosie, Webbie, Foxx, some of these type folks just within the pitch. The whole label particularly does well. So it's a good, excellent aspect, and there definitely needs to be more compilation albums with this sort of quality. This ringtone rap in its prime. Wipe Me Down is a huge, this album's basically ringtone rap in its prime. Wipe Me Down is a classic hit single from the late 2000s. It's easy kind of one to go for and gravitate to as far as this pitch can happen. But this album did have follow-up singles. There were ones. Now these songs were not MTV staples, VH1 staples like Wipe Me Down, the Wipe Me Down remix were, but I want to say possibly Watch My Shoes, considering that that's the second most popular song off this album according to Spotify. I want to say that maybe this song had a music video and maybe it was like on MTV2 or something like that, but I know that Adios is also released as a single, was just kind of within the pitch. I don't know how popular that one kind of did, but at least there were some other ones for folks who thought, well, the main thing, I know probably within certain senses most folks would think the main draw of this particular product and the anchor would be Wipe Me Down, but there are other hits on here and there are other singles just in the pitch, a little bit more modest, but this album is like a whole blitzing type affair, just club type moments and just venue type heat and just social step out as a whole. Now Lil Boosie does offer like some extra moments for like some further type things, for like some good songwriting pitches like that, give it like a more Tupac-esque and just a little bit more Tech 9 and folks like that, kind of more songwriting within the pitch, some extra type fare, and folks like 3 Deep and Foxx kind of give it like some ringtone rap kind of trendy type edge, relevant to like the late 2000s time. So just a good amalgamation here. Webbie has some good verses on this particular product, so it's just some good type of feels. He anchors this product, he helps anchor this product, so it's just within the pitch. But just go ahead and talk about the singles here. So basically, just to say about this album, I recommend all of the 15 songs on this particular product minus one. The only song I don't recommend in any fashion is just Swangin'. And I guess I'll talk about that one to get that one out of the way real quick. Basically, Swangin' is just kind of a cruise around type song, something that Bun B, UGK would have done like a more traditional kind of uptown cruise around type fashion, but it just did not feel like a very gallivanted type song to cruise around to. It just didn't have much recreation. I mean, just in the sense of like an old town type hop within the pitch behind it, but it just really feels more slummish within the sense than like the aspect of like the overall indulgence behind it. This was not quite as affable in the sense of something that probably would have like some good cruise around within the pitch. So it's just kind of a concept. This is one that just feels to be leaguered and swashed, but just didn't nail the aspect of really like the particular appeal behind it. But that's just the thing. So this album still gets a 10 out of 10, 14 out of 15 is definite 10 out of 10. We'll go ahead and talk about the singles here. So Wipe Me Down was the lead single. This is one that was released in the winter of 2007. This is the staple of this particular album. So this is by Foxx, a good introductory song. Probably his biggest song, considering that he never dropped a second album past Street Gossip in the fall of 2007. But he did manage to stack up other hits. So I would definitely recommend. I reviewed Foxx's debut album, Street Gossip, back in like the spring of 2024. So you can, I don't know if I'll make a Foxx playlist because he doesn't have a ton of projects that are really resonant kind of around. I want to find some more of these, but they're just trickier because he's a lot more low key. But he has a series of singles. Wipe Me Down was one of them that was exclusive to this project. So Wipe Me Down is like a vicious kind of classic late 2000s ringtone nightclub heat to kind of get here. This easy song to get super hell tore up to as far as this pitch can go. This easy kind of dance club smash. This really gets things riveting pitches like that. This standard thunder, typical type 1 within that fashion. This real gnarled, this easy kind of hit, hypnotic kind of beat. This within the pitch behind it. This swirls, this hits pretty heavily. It hits like a ton of bricks pitches like that. Great song to, like I was saying, just get tore up to just within the pitch. Go out, have some socialized pitches like that. This late 2000s staple. Adios is the second single, and I don't know if this is the actual second single or if it was Wash My Shoes that came out afterward. There's not, Wikipedia does not list the single order, unfortunately. I do at least know that these were, because when I bought the album on the cellophane, it particularly said that it includes the hit singles Adios, Wipe Me Down. It includes the hit singles Adios, Wipe Me Down, and Watch My Shoes as far as this pitch kind of goes. So it's just within the pitch, so it's good type fare. But Adios is like a more vanilla and normal, but still rowdy kind of venue hopper to kind of get. There's some percolate noise I would definitely feel like here. This basic dance hit, pretty good for that tone, and just slaps pretty well. So it's just good type pitch. You take the energy and the night type appeal, Wipe Me Down, and then just turn down the viciousness, and just a song that's just not quite as ready to get full blown blitz out of your mind and tore ups just within the pitch. So this is like some just basic ambience and just easy going kind of dance energy within the pitch behind. Just a more vanilla type dance tune within the pitch. But this particular song has Foxx, Lil Boosie, Big Head, and Webbie on here. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying it's just a good conduct. If you like the tone of Wipe Me Down remix, it just has that particular format just with Big Head on there as well as far as this pitch kind of goes. It's just kind of the concept as far as saying that this basic kind of stock night, this posse song within the pitch, just like some dance energy, just real good appeal. Wash My Shoes is a real nice one. This is a ringtone ready type one. This has some definite kind of snazzy type appeal that's trendy to like the times of like the late 2000s. It's like a woozy and kind of typical kind of mingle and venue ambience to kind of get here. It's like a woozy and typical kind of mingle and venue ambience kind of get here. I'd have to say just a snazzy and fresh kind of step out warning as far as this pitch can go. So this is kind of the concept. If you're looking minty pitch like that, you have some expensive shoes, nice outfit pitch like that. You don't want to get drinks spilled on you or something like that. People stepping all over you, some of that type fare is just within pitch. Just saying, hey, watch it, not in the mood for pitches like that, just within the tone behind it. This is kind of the concept. If you're looking expensive, you don't have time for like the BS and like the small fry type, the small fry basic kind of diss riff raff as far as this pitch kind of goes. It's a good concept to kind of have for some of that, just good type pitch. I mean, with certain nights, just having that expensive type format just within the pitch as far as saying, yeah, it's just a good concept, but just saying, hey, I'm not, just saying that this is not broke music kind of socialized this within the tone. But I like the fact that 3D particularly kind of did this. Just look after the aspect here as far as what's first going to happen just within the tone behind it. It's this good type context. Like I was saying, 3D almost put out an album. It's real unfortunate. I question it. Probably would have came out in early 2008. Definitely think it should have. If they had another hit song as big as this particular song. Lil Wayne particularly did a remix of this song on one of his mixtapes. I want to say it was like Dedication 3, something of that particular type fare. But it's just a good type pitch getting some of these initial type ones because they just have some good appeal. But yeah, I definitely think the 3D album would have been pretty vicious. But yeah, they have some other hits. Like I said, I'm going to try to find their mixtapes, but it's a good type song. This ringtone rap ready, pitch like that, just popular, recognizable beat. And then the Wipe Me Down remix was the fourth single, and this is one that came out in the fall of 2007. It's the same same beat, same type fares, Wipe Me Down, just adds Lil Boosie and Webbie to the song as far as those fares gonna happen. It's like a further kind of vicious remix that I'd say, adding Boosie and Webbie, basically, and this like easy radio appeal I'd have to say here, and just a good kickstarter within those pitches as far as those pitches gonna go. It's probably one of the best songs on the album, just in terms of the immediacy. The fun factor of this song is just really high, just the aspect. Webbie really annihilates his verse, just some excellent type fare, just really manages to nail it. Lil Boosie has pretty recognizable verse on here as well. Foxx has the same verse from like the first from like the original song. This is a good type pitch, kind of get this anchor as far as this pitch can go. Great song to smoke to, pitch like that. It's the same type of appeal. Now nowadays I do actually like the original Wipe Me Down, that this is in that type format just as well. I like both versions. I'll listen to the remix. That's a classic type song within the pitch, like the Webbie and Boosie type fares on that particular song. But the original Wipe Me Down, which just has Foxx with 2 extra verses, is pretty good as well. So just remember that within the pitch. Just good type of appeal. If you want to hear more Foxx, good type aspect, check out that OG version just from the pitch. But yeah, so every song in here I recommend, minus Swangin', just to say like I was saying. So some of these type ones, like Thug Me Like That's a real nice one. That's a Lil Boosie exclusive here as far as this is going to happen. There's like a Drury and Sedate kind of serenade to kind of get within those aspects. This great badass kind of 2006 leftover, it would feel like. Just that same sort of pitch, just feels like one of those type songs. Like it feels like one of those ones like Distant Love or some of those type pitches. Just really feels ripped out of Lil Boosie from 2006 era. It's like a vintage kind of hot day stretch as far as those first gonna happen. Just feels like one of those Woozy type ones, just in that same typical kind of almost Tupac type format. Just Boosie songwriting at like a high as far as this pitch gonna go. Just good pitch for some of that type fare. Real nice one within some of that. Say Around is a real vicious type one. This feels like another leftover from Boosie's 2006 badass album. I'd have to say just a dark and brooding kind of venue contemplate to kind of get here, and this is a cold type production as far as those fares can go. So just a vicious type one. I mean, it's vicious, but it's just kind of in a more passive type sense. It's not really like Dance Club Thunder pitch like that. It's just kind of a brooding type one. Maybe just a gnarled type day, just something kind of on your mind within the pitch, but just kind of the concept, but just like that typical kind of almost paranoia just within the pitch behind it, but just the concept of this. It's just a darker type tune for some of those aspects compared to like some of the more just blissful and gleeful kind of pizzazz that kind of goes along with it here. But yeah, basically this feels more of like a Lil Boosie song more so than anything else. But Webbie, Foxx, and Mouse are on this song as well, so it's just a good type pitch for like a posse type appeal within that particular fair. So it's just a good type concept here, but definitely works for like a vicious type one. Now the thing about it is Webbie does not really have any exclusive songs in here. It's kind of surprising that he has a lot of verses on here, but when you think of Foxx having an exclusive and Lil Boosie having an exclusive, it's actually Webbie that doesn't have any of those type ones where you would think that this feels like a Webbie song that would kind of be something that's more that folks would be featuring on his song in addition to that, just within the pitch behind it. I mean, maybe it would be Got Me Bent, but I just look after within the tone. There's not, like when I think of Savage Life from 2005, just within some of those type pitches, which it had been 2 years by the time this album came out from that particular one, it just didn't feel like Webbie had any stopgap songs to kind of get people primed as far as those pitches can go with like the concept of Someday. It was as if like it just didn't want to misadvertise that an album wasn't really on the way. It was just within the concept, just being able to say that. I feel like there's certain songs on here that just feel like Lil Boosie leftovers. Like Swangin' feels like Lil Boosie song within a sense, and Thug Me Like That feels like a Lil Boosie song, and Say Around feels like a Lil Boosie song. This would have to say within those tones. But then there's some songs like Leave the Tags On. There's some songs like Leave the Tags On and Wipe Me Down, and some of those type ones that feel like Foxx songs within some of those type pitches, I'd say. But there's at least one other one that I think I want to say that feels like a Foxx song, maybe about that, but it's in the pitch. And speaking of Leave the Tags On, it's like, this is a nice one. This, like I was saying, reminds me of Foxx's 2007 album. I'd have to say just a wheezing kind of nightclub bounce, kind of get here and just get tipsy and dance hard within some of those type pitches. I'd say just real nice one. Now that I think about it, I think About That kind of feels like a Webbie leftover. This feels like something like an in-between type fare from something from Savage Life, just kind of the in-between. That's not quite Savage Life, but not quite Savage Life 2, I'd have to say here. So talk about that. This has Webbie and Foxx on here. It's like a further kind of quality dance club energy you kind of get. It's great pizzazz for like some stunt and mingle, I would definitely feel like here. Good smoke a few. Good song to smoke a few too within those pitches. Very lit type song within the aspects. So it's just a nice one. Feels like one of those type ones. That same sort of dance club type energy, like Bad Bitch by Savage Life 1 within some of those type pitches. A song that was featuring Trina within some of those type fares. Just a good pitch like that. Just some of that particular kind of dark carnival type energy within the pitch behind as far as those fares gonna have. So it's good type tone. Same Old Shit's a nice one. It's like a neighborhood kind of vintage DJ drama mixtape soul to kind of get here. Just smoke a few definitely. And it's like a glaze kind of cruise around slag to kind of get within some of those type pitches, I have to say. It's a nice one within those aspects that I'd say within the tone behind it. This is just another, this actually is another one that feels like a Lil Boosie song within some of those type pitches. So it's a good concept to get some of these Lil Boosie leftovers, but I would have to say apart from maybe About That and possibly like You Got Cake, those are the only closest things to like Webbie leftovers as far as those pitches kind of have. But I look after same old shit's like a nice one here. This is just basically like DJ Drama sold this in a Lil Boosie type format and like a cruise around type sense. It's kind of the concept of this. Same old shit's just like the typical kind of neighborhood house cleaning type errand type fare just within the pitch behind it. Just typical kind of clean up within some of those type tasks, just getting some things done, just getting wrapped up as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just good type tone for some of that particular situating pitches like that. I'd say a good type tone for some of that. And say same old shit is definitely one of the ones that has like the most mixtape type enjoy type format within it. So it's a good type pitch, kind of get some of that traditional type fare within the aspect. It's a good breakthrough type song to kind of bring that forth as far as those pitch kind of goes. So it's good type tone. Really works for some of that. Webbie and basically Webbie and Big Head are also on the song, so some good type appeals for that. Then Do It Stick It's a nice one. This is another 3 Deep song. Surprisingly, 3 Deep does not have terribly many songs on this particular product. They do at least have maybe 2.5, but it's just within the pitch that Materialistic Bitch is not listed as a 3 Deep song. That bit virtually kind of is, but Do It Stick It's like a searing kind of good appearance from Low Key 3 Deep. I'd have to say here, it just reminds of Savage Life 1. I'd have to say Webbie type fare as far as those pitch kind of having good type tone for that. It's a good blitzer. Yeah, Do It Stick It just feels like Savage Life 1 Webbie pitches like that. Songs like G Shit and Mind Your Business, some of those type ones within the pitch behind it. Just real nice blitzer, kind of get within that appeal. This ringtone rap ready within some of that type fare. Just good leftover within some of that type ness. Politician Networking's a good type song on here. Now this is basically Politician Networking is a Big Head exclusive. This is kind of one of the ones that has the most offhanded type approach on here. This is one that feels like an extra type song, not to say like in a bad format, but just kind of one that I'm glad that this particular song was on the album just in the pitch, because it's just some good type fare. Kind of seeing like whether or not the 3 Deep group would have gotten like some extra type songs. Now, I want to say I actually don't know if Big Head was a part of 3 Deep. I think it was actually Lil Fat, Shell and Mouse, but I think Big Head was just an extra type cat. He was kind of like the 4th dude, kind of like Freaky Zeke, not to say like that in terms of popularity, but it just seemed like he didn't put out an album or pitches like that. Maybe he has mixtapes, but it's like a gusty and kind of ice cold neighborhood push kind of get here. Politician Network and so on I'm talking about. Just kind of some in-between commerce that I had to say, just pitches like that, just stack errands and rep as far as what, good song to stack errands up and rep as far as what's first going to happen. So just rep for what you do, just pitches like that, get some bustle kind of done, some of that type there, just productive type song within a more beleaguered type sense and drowsy. Just have to say, just some smokage in your system, pitches like that, just some snack runs, some of that type fare, just in like the more brushy kind of autumn or winter, some of those type fares, just typical kind of neighborhood push, good type concept for that, just good context to just get some stuff done, just kind of be out and about and just with it as far as this pitch can go. So it's good type fare. Definitely need another song like this. I mean, the thing about this particular album is just the fact that it's only 15 songs, but it's just the concept. I think they probably could have added like another 3 or 4 or even 5 or 6 more songs, and it probably would have still been a classic within the pitch behind it. It's within the concept when one of the last Trill project I reviewed back in January, which was the Webbie and Lil Fat project, that was 20 something songs or within that relative type pitch, and all of them hit pretty damn heavily within the tone. So it's just the aspect there. Politician Networking's a good nice one. Don't think just because it doesn't have Webbie or Lil Boosie or Foxx on there that's not a good song, because that's definitely not the case. But You Got Cake is a nice one. It's like a night primer, it had to say, for like some after work shift gleefulness. It had to say just that goosebumps kind of feeling, just the concept of like, alright, things are done, what am I going to do? Just getting towards the excitement, just smoke a couple, definitely basic kind of night cruise around, and had to say here, a good song to situate. So it's just within the pitch. So yeah, You Got Cake's just some good excitement. This is kind of an in-between type one. I mean, I would almost have to say that this feels like a Savage Life kind of leftover, but it's just kind of one of the more mellow type ones within the pitch as far as this is going to happen. This kind of aspect there of just kind of like in between kind of more neighborhood type fashions and just like a more slumish type sense just within the pitch behind. Just one of those type ones that just typical kind of neighborhood push type feels. It's kind of more same sort of snack run type fashion like Politician Networking, but just in a less wintry type sense. It's more summer glaze like Savage Life, I'd have to say there. And Got Me Bent is a nice one. It's like a feeling super blended kind of night enjoyment to kind of get here. Just some good ambience and straightening. I feel like about this song, just a dazzling beat, definitely. It's a pretty festive type one to kind of get here. So some further get tore up type fare just in the pitch. Just really getting glitz out of your mind. Some pitches like that. Good type social step out within some of that type fare. Pretty good song just within the pitch. Has Lil Boosie. Got Me Bent has Foxx, Webbie, and Lil Boosie on there as far as this pitch can happen. So it's just good type appeal. Just good traditional kind of step out with like some homies type fare. And that's another thing about this product. Definitely some homies type fun within the pitch. Good concept like social pizzazz within the fashion. It's a ringtone rap classic within those pitches, but definitely has the aspect of definitely some hella good powwow smokish type fare with your pals. It's pitches like that, some good type fare. Neighborhood Johnson's has the whole package within that concept, but for late 2000s type fashion, so it's good type appeal. And then I would say Materialistic Bitch is a nice one. Now this one particularly has Soulja Boy on here, but he wasn't as noticeable on this particular song, but it does have 3 Deep on here as well. So this one's like a particular feeling. Materialistic Bitch is like a feeling hella jarred, kind of nice step out to kind of get. It's a good primer after like a usual day BS, I'd say within some of those type pitches. This is definitely some good Hollow music I'd have to say here, and it's just a pretty hot song. So by Hollow music, just being the pitch of just getting bells nearby, just within the pitch as far as those fairs going to happen. Just some good concepts for like, hey, need a bell tonight, some of those type pitches as far as those particular fairs can go. Just some social step out within the pitch. Just red hot type song. It's the definite red eyes type song, just feeling hella tore up within the pitch. There's some good nice ones there for that particular concept. I like the exuberance of this particular album, some good type appeal definitely. So yeah, this album gets a 10 out of 10 just within the pitch behind it, just within the fair. I think I talked about every song on here as far as those pitch kind of happen, so it's just good nice product of it. So the social score, I would probably say the concept of it, more or less, we get like a 10 out of 10. I liked all the singles on here, just real trendy to the late 2000s, just good typical type fashion, has some good aspects for like some good hits. Now I realized that Wipe Me Down and the Wipe Me Down remix are the 2 biggest songs on this particular product, but just looking after, I would say that Wash My Shoes has at least a decent amount of follow-up single type format, maybe not the smash hit in like a top 20 single type format, but just in the pitch is a good follow-up type song, especially considering the fact that 3 Deep is not that commonly known about as Full Bound. I think most folks probably nowadays would just think it was like a Lil Wayne song, but it's actually within the pitch that, you know, basically Lil Fat, who was also on Webbie's hit song Independent, as far as what's first going to happen, he was a part of 3 Deep, and then Shell, who's an extra type cat, and then Mouse, who's produced most of those songs. He produced like Independent and Wipe Me Down and all those type ones. Busybody, some of those type ones. Busybody by Paul Wall, so it's just in the pitch as far as saying some good type appeal, but particular kind of good single type format, mostly kind of recognizable. This one in the pitch, maybe a little bit in hardcore type territory, but a lot of these do have pretty relative casual type appeal. This is basically Lil Boosie in his prime, Webbie in his prime, Foxx in his prime, 3 Deep in their prime, pitches like that. Mouse in his prime as a producer, BJ, some of those type folks just in the pitch behind it. So it has a good aspect. Social aspect just kind of goes about it. Just some good cruise around type songs, that makeshift kind of dredge about it. Some good primers. I feel like songs like You Got Cake and Got Me Blunt and some of those type ones, and Materialistic Bitch has some of that type format. Just after a lengthy kind of day, just kind of pitch it, just like some good, just switch to flip mode and have that excellence of just like some get tore up. Plenty of good songs on here to get tore up to within the pitch. You're definitely going to be feeling good, but there's just some drink in your system, some smokish pitches like that, just some good type of appeals. Plenty of good nightclub heat, some of those type areas, some great ladies songs on here, just some good songwriting just in the pitch. So even despite the fact that folks think that ringtone rap doesn't have it, I mean, that's the only thing, unless you're just looking for like a Nas or Jadakiss type lyricist, just in the pitch, that's the only thing I would say, but it really shouldn't. I don't think that has anything to do with this. Just the concept, the quality of this music just hits like a ton of bricks. It's just been the feel, just vibe out to this, get crunks, pitches like that, just kind of excellence of it. So 10 social. So in terms of the future, the unfortunate thing is Trill and T is not as tight as they were once back in the day. It's not to say that they're not tight anymore. It's just kind of the concept they don't drop as commonly within some of those type pitches. But they did at least drop an album in 2000. They did at least drop an album 3 years later in 2010. I don't know if it had the hit appeal. Didn't have as much of like an anchored single. Didn't have as much of like an anchored single compared to Wipe Me Down in the remix, but it did have some singles on there. So I'll have to check that one out down the road. But it's just in the pitch, you know, got some more Webbie to get to, got some more Lil Boosie pitches like that. And there may not be any more Foxx albums, but it's just within the pitch. I'm going to try to find that 3 Deep mixtape, some of those type pairs, but just within the pitch. Classic kind of compilation album, surprisingly just within the appeal. It's the fact that it has this magnitude of blitzing type appeal, this easy kind of staple to get, and for some late 2000s fair, definitely good conduct, easy enough to recommend.